Right, so hi guys. So we know the Sony A1 has been the flagship for a couple of years now, and yet some updates could be beneficial if we could get them. But also, are they just going to release a A1 Mark II with a few other upgrades, new chips and stuff like that? But I was messing around with the video. Basically, I do a little bit of video, a lot of stills, and anything in between. And for me, I've not really used the tracking that much, so I thought experimenting with it yesterday. And this is with a third-party lens, so this is a Sigma 14 to 24 f2.8 at f2.8. So the fact that, and I'm shooting at 120 frames a second in 4K on the A1, and I was just really impressed on how well it was actually dealing with following that daisy. It was it's like one of those big daisies, and this is 4 times slower than real time. But it kind of shows you that it's quite happily keeping up with it. And to be honest, it's ignoring the piece of grass that's flapping around in front of it as well. So, yes, things are improving all the time. So we know that, software is always being updated. We know that hardware is obviously being updated into the newer cameras. So, and you're also limited on the technology in the camera itself. So, obviously, you can't necessarily update stuff on the A1 if it can't physically manage to do it without hindering anything else. You might be able to do faster this and faster that, but is it going to hinder actually taking a photo, for example? So yeah, amazing if we could have some updates, if it's possible. If not, I mean, it's not the end of the world. But this still blew me away, that the fact that the daisy actually disappears off frame completely and it still hangs on to it, and it did it multiple times, not necessarily in this video, but it did it a few times while I was watching, and I actually videoed it with my phone. So there's a YouTube short video that you can see that actually happening, because I just videoed my viewfinder. This is real time, so this is normal speed. You can see it's blowing around quite a bit, and at f2.8 it's actually probably f2.8 slightly too shallow, to be fair, but it's still keeping with it. And I was just really impressed. The fact that you can do that on a third-party lens as well just shows you how far Sigma have come. The fact that you can actually, track stuff with ease on some of the newer, sort of more up-to-date lenses, which was really, really impressive. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we need, as if we were to have an update of some sort or a new camera, IAF in video in animals, birds and humans, even better than this. I don't know. Just being more reliable with it. But the technology is there. It's just now whatever's available, isn't it? Let me know what you think below. Is it something you would happily pay for an update if the camera could be done? Because people are talking about this pay per firmware update now, which, to be honest, I don't care. If it was 20 quid, I'd happily pay it. I don't really care. But if you're sort of looking at 100 quid, I'm not going to bother. But the fact that the cameras now are still insane. Even 5 years ago they were still incredible. We've got so used to this super fast technology now that I think a lot of the time we're obsessed by it, even if we didn't even use half the functions. I have the A1. I use the stills on it. Obviously, I rarely go into high plus mode, as in like 30 frames per second. Quite often a sort of medium, just for a medium burst. Very rarely. I mean, a couple of times I have, but it just don't necessarily need to be up there all the time. The video side of things, I either shoot sort of 24 or 30 frames per second, 60 sometimes, and I use the clear image zoom on there as well, which is quite good, which works at 24, 30 and 60. But then when you jump into 120 frames per second, which is shooting, it only does full frame, but I use the 120 frames per second quite a bit, just because I love the sort of slow motion feel. The 240 frames per second in HD, not really used that much, but it still works very well. But just the tracking side of things, the autofocus and everything like that, everyone's obsessed by how fast it will do something now and all this. And to be honest, how often do you really miss? It's something to think about, isn't it? How often do we really miss nowadays? I put this down on the tripod and literally just touched the daisy on the touchscreen and it just followed it. It was that simple. You know, as you can see, that goes straight off camera, and it's still staying with it. You know, multiple times, and I'd already done it for about 5 or 10 minutes, just messing around in the first place anyway. And so, it's extremely good. You know, it's holding onto it now, even though it was off shot for a couple of seconds there. You know, and there's no, and this is slowed down 4 times, and it just works, doesn't it? You know, so it is highly impressive. Like I say, people are always wanting more, which is fine. You know, we always want more, but I'm just wondering how far will it ever go, and how much improvements will ever really be made. You know, even more. It's just nuts. But anyway, just a short video. Let me know what you think below. You know, if you're an A1 user or any other camera out there that you love using. Do you like to see the improvements happen? You know, do you want to pay for them? I don't really mind paying 20 quid or something for an update. It's not the end of the world. But let me know what you think. Cheers.